Hello. So I've been doing a little work on anchor cages, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video of while I'm doing this now. I'm no expert on this, so I'm just going to move this over here where we can see it. And this is where I want the bolts, and this is the plate. So I need J anchors like this, but obviously these ones are just anchors and a leveling plate. I need another plate at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'll end up going into this and changing the behavior in this, or else just changing these to holes and then create this anchor and put it in there. It seems to be the only way to do it, or the way to do it best in advanced steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to anchors, objects. It's on anchors, so I like to pick the center point usually. And pick center point. Now I could also pick the X in the middle of the plate, but I do like to pick the corners or the sides. So the distance is 6 and 6, which is quite close together, but what is required. So that's good. So I want to change that anchor actually, sorry. So I want to change that anchor to an anchor. Now, previously I like to have the writing in capital, so I've created new ones. Obviously I couldn't use the same name, so I put USA instead of US, because I'm in the US. And I'm going to put the length at 1'2". I need 9-inch embedment. The hole tolerance at 1/16. Alright, so we're good. So we're going to copy, I need to set this to shop, because it's going to be a cage. Now, we call them cages here. I guess in Europe the cage is the bigger one with the rebar and stuff. So I'm just going to call it a board cage, because that's what I'm used to calling it. I'm going to copy this plate down 9 inches. Okay. So actually, I was going to add nuts here. But this guy, this is not threaded down here, so he's just going to weld this down here. So what I'll do is I'll weld these two plates together. And I'll stick a weld over here in the corner. And now we can see this is now an assembly. So now the problem is, I would like to have them this set at the right height leaving the shop. So obviously I'm going to have no anchor left if I do that. So what I want to do is 2 nuts, 2 washers. And now I need to extend this out the top of the anchor cage. So what I'll do is I'll go into my bolts. So I've opened this already. Sorry if let me close that down. I'm sure everybody knows how to get in anyway, but I'm going to go to that anchor that I've created, which is this one. Now, you would do make a lot of changes in advanced steel, and it's hard to remember everything. So I can see the top distance here is 1 inch. See here, this one is extended. So there's a 1/6, so that's a 1/2 inch anchor though. So if I click on this and do 1/2, well, that's not available. I have to make that available, so I'm not going to even do that. So I'll just stick with the 3/4. So I want to go here, see what's in my system, and I'll pick the 3/4, and here's my 3/4. Now this is the one I've created this one myself, so I'm not messing up another one. So what I'm going to do is go to the 1'2", and if I make this 3 inches, let's see what happens. Now here's the name of it over here, the part name, but it seems to use on the labels, it'll use this size and this. So let's apply this. And go back up update. Now I really should have added a second one. Let's see. Three-quarter. Alright, so that hasn't worked, whatever I've done. So let's update this again. One foot two. Right, so that's not working. So it's 2 nuts, 2 washers, and 3/4 inch USA J anchor. So let's go back in. 1 foot 2. Top distance. Set. Set is nut and washer. So let's go back. If I go to 1 foot 2 and change that to nut and washer, you can see that it changes it there. So that's where my issue is. So now I should have 3 inches from here to here. Is that enough? 1 inch of grout, 1 inch plate. It's probably not enough. So I probably want 4 inches there. So if I do 4 inches, that should be fine. So let me change that to 4 inch, but I want it for the 2 nuts, 2 washers. So let's go back again. So if I go back in here, this one I don't want changed. So let's go back to the parameters and let's change this back to 1 inch. And I'll leave that one alone because I don't need it that way. And I'll go into the set and pick the 2 nuts, 2 washers, and go back to the parameters. Go to 1 foot 2. Change this to 4 inches. And hopefully this will work. I don't know if this will work. Hopefully it'll work. And let's go update our defaults. Open this bolt. 2 nuts, 2 washers. And there you go. So what I need to do now is move that plate up. So if I move the plate up 2 inches, and this is just going to be welded, so let's see what distance we have between the plate and this plate. 7 1/8. So the anchor should be good. The anchor is 1 foot 2 total minus the 4 will be 10 inches. So I should have 10 inches from the top of this plate down. It's not going to let me snap, I don't think, to anything on the anchor unless I can get a center point. But you know, we're past 9 inches at least, so that should be good. So now that's going to be my assembly. So let's see if that is an assembly. That is an assembly. So what I'm going to do now, that is not assembly, sorry. It'll be an assembly when I add that plate. Objects, add plate. Let's try it again. Now it's an assembly. So we should really name this leveling plate, so I'm just going to call it plates. I'd like to have that other one as a leveling plate, but I don't think I have that in my system. I'll need to add that. Alright, so now we're going to select our assembly, labels and dimensions. Sorry, home, numbering, assembly number, okay, P4, okay. Now I'm going to select everything, and then I'm going to go, I'm going to go drawing process, assembly, ANSI B, okay. Show assembly detail, and I will need to set this up to show my anchors, because as you can see I don't have any anchors here. So This is used the drawing process of a plate assembly. So what I need to do is either use a different process or change my model. Oh, sorry, I'm going into drawing style. I want to go into drawing process. So let's go into drawing process, user, process, assemblies, selected. Oh, sorry, I went the right way the first time. Anyway, what you can see is assemblies plate, each, NCB, and the detailed style map, well put, plate assembly. So what I need to do is model objects, plates, I need to add another one that has a main part with a leveling plate. And I create the main part as a leveling plate, create a new drawing style with the anchors visible. So if I go, what did I say this was again? Sorry. 5 plate assembly. So let's go in here. Again, I'm going the wrong way. Plate assembly. So assemblies 5, plate assembly, copy that, ADM for my company name, ADM, plate assembly, view arrangement, plate top, plate front. So, plate front, ADM, plate top, ADM, plate section, ADM, and then go into plate top, and object presentation, plate assembly, and you'll see if you go into this other one, object plate assembly also, and object presentation is plate assembly section in that one. So the section will be different. So the object presentation will change for both of them when I change this. So create a new one, ADM, okay, and it's not showing anchors, attached plate, beam, part, attached part, holes, special part, special holes, bolts and shop, off, off. So let's copy the bolts on shop and let's change it to anchor bolts, deposition any, presentation, visible, and label. We'll just label with name for now, should work. I can change the others. Sorry, where is it? Lot name, model role. I'll just put model role for now. And use. And you can see it came in here. So it did not come in here. This must be also a section. No, section is here. So my anchor bolts are in there, so they're not in this one. So let me see. What view is this? This is, that should be the top view. That should be the front view. Let's see what views are active. Front view, section, and top. So I'm not sure if this is behaving as the top or the front. This is probably behaving as the front, even though it's the top. So, okay, so go back in again. And let's see. Alright, I never, that's what it is. So that one is the top. So I have created a new one, but I never changed it in here. I gotta make it active in here. Object presentation and make this active. ADM, plate assembly, apply, use, and the anchors should come in here as well. Alright, so there's your anchors. It's not the ideal view, to be honest with you, but you know what, I'm going to change the section also, probably. But this should work for now. You have to excuse the long video. Hope this helps. Model roll none, because I don't have the model roll set, so let me go back. Click on these anchors, name, model roll, anchor bolts. Anchor bolts. Alright, and then go back to assembly, and labels, update details. And it comes in as anchor bolt. So whatever you want to set that to, your name, size, all that good stuff. Obviously we want anchors in here as well, so it's already a long video, so let me go back in again. And I'll just go back into the plate assembly section, which I've already renewed. So I'm going to create a new one here also. ADM. Okay. Bolts on shop. So I'll do bolts on shop. I'll copy that one. And I'll make that. I'm doing it slightly different way this time. Doesn't really matter. So anchor bolts. Visible, hidden. Label and route, apply. Let's see what happens. I didn't change anything else. So the anchors have come in and the section, and then it's showing you what the anchor is here. So it's a 4 hand tight. You're not going to hand tight the bolt, obviously. I have hand tight in there because I have down to hand tight all the nuts on the job. So I need to remove that hand tight from it. But as you can see now, you have an anchor detail. What I'm going to do now is see if I can get a punch mark on it. So I can punch mark the center of the column, hopefully. Hopefully that'll work. Alright. Thank you for listening. Excuse the long video. Bye-bye.